It's okay, everybody. I can deal with stuff. I'm fine. I am fine. I am fine. I am fine. I am fine. I keep saying that. Crappy, how about you say something else, huh? Crappy, can you do this for us? Can you take us? Is it time? Is it reveal time? Are we gonna have a game soon? I think so. So Crappy, take us away and watch out for big car. Crappy? How come you didn't work, Crappy? Crappy. I literally set you up so that you would do the thing. Do the thing. Crappy? Crappy. Okay, let's try this one more time. OBS. There you go. Thank you so much, Crappy. Seriously, slacking on the job. I can't believe it. You know, when I expect somebody to be working, I expect them to show up and I expect them to waddle on past me. And if Crappy doesn't do that, then I am disappointed. Hello! It looks like we've got a lot of people in chat. Good to see the Juker. Garfield the Lightning, thank you for resubscribing. You know who isn't a slacker like Crappy? Yeah, that's right. Say hello to the GM for game number 1 today. Corndan! Corndan, come on in. Let's talk about your game. Because I don't know what is going on. Hello there, Corndan.
Hello.
Hey, I'm happy to see you. How you doing?
I am doing good. I'm going to be making pizza later in my pizza oven. It's going to be great.
Okay. I dig pizza. Oh, yeah. It's your Sunday tradition, isn't it? Pizza.
It is. Yeah, I've done pizza for multiple years, every Sunday.
Well, I like pizza.
I think, you know, for like Christmas and New Year's, we did something different. But basically, every Sunday, we do pizza.
Good. What kind of pizza do you usually do?
Whatever my son feels like.
Okay.
So today,
yeah.
We'll say it's mostly cheese pizza.
Okay.
But the sauce I'm going to use is the marinara I made for spaghetti earlier in the week.
Marinara for spaghetti. Okay. And yeah, everybody, don't worry. I'm just making sure that I have everything working fine on Discord. We were having some weird audio issues with Discord and OBS yesterday, so I'm working to make sure that Corndan is loud enough for y'all. I don't think that's going to be a problem now.
It probably will not be a problem. I don't really know. So I see chat's already surmising that I'm giving out RoboCop today, which is funny because I'm not giving out RoboCop today.
No RoboCop?
I may be giving out no RoboCop. I may be giving out something more cursed though.
Okay, well, what are you giving?
So how do you feel about mascot kart games?
Oh, you know how I feel. I mean, I've had enough Scunny Kart in my life. I've had enough Shrek Kart.
What if I told you I might have something more cursed than Scunny Kart?
There's no way.
There is. So, and what if I told you it's a mascot that everybody recognizes too?
I mean, okay, everybody knows Shrek.
Well, yeah, it's not Shrek Kart.
Thank God.
It is
Thank
Crash Nitro Kart.
Wait, isn't the Crash Team Racing good?
Yeah, you'd say, well, that's a good game, right?
Okay.
Not when it's on the N-Gage.
Well, everybody, this is, I believe, a Kusogrand8 first. We've got Crash Nitro Kart on the N-Gage. The players will be playing for an hour, and we'll see who is able to make the most progress over that time. Yeah, I am ready for an absolute nightmare, and I hope y'all are as well, because you're not getting out of this.
I mean, you should. But I'm going to bring in somebody to help me out right here.
Oh, sure.
That, you know, because I would like to give credit where credit's due. Like, I did not get this all set up by myself. Right?
Okay.
And, you know, so I got help from the Juker.
Oh, the Juker. Yeah, the Juker recently, I believe, played a bunch of Kusogrand8 games, and that we specifically gave out, and I went and watched a little bit of that and laughed quite a bit at the nightmares that the Juker got to play through. So yeah, go ahead and bring the Juker in. I'd love to chat.
The Juker is going to hop in, and I'm going to bring in the Juker in here.
Are we supposed to have audio on this screen?
There should be.
Well, let me swap to somebody else.
I have audio from Jackazam, and that's great. And I want to plug something that I'm being reminded that you should have done in the last 10 minutes, but I'm going to plug it now here. Kuso Live signups for GDQ. The signups are live. I'm going to post it in here, and I am going to put it in the Discord as well.
Yeah, baby. That's right. So, if you are going to SGDQ and you want to play in a blind tournament there, we will be doing it. I'll only be at the event for part of it, but we've got a full team that's going to be helping out. And if you actually do want to help and don't want to play, there's probably a spot for you as well. You can just hit me up in a DM. With that said, the Juker is here. Hello there.
Hi. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, going great. I'm listening to these jams. They're pretty goopy.
They are. That describes a lot of the N-Gage music from what I tried.
You know, it's perfect. Better than I thought it was going to be when I first started playing N-Gage stuff.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's a low bar. You can, like, trip over that.
I said the same thing when I streamed a bunch of N-Gage last year.
Yeah, so... just for those who don't know, and that's not me, I definitely know, what's the N-Gage?
The N-Gage...
You definitely don't know, do you?
I have no idea what it is.
How do I even describe this?
So I'll describe it. So Nokia in...
okay.
2007? Maybe earlier than that. I'm checking it now. Okay, so 2003, right? Before Android and iPhone and all of that was a thing, right? When people gamed on there, like, earlier than I expected too. So when you wanted, right, Nokia saw like how good like the GBA and everything was, and said, you know what? We can do this in a phone, right? So they put a handheld gaming setup in like one of their phones. And so if you've ever seen the memes about like people talking on a taco as a phone, it's the N-Gage. The microphone and everything is at the top, so literally if you wanted to talk to it on a phone, because it was a phone, you had to hold it like a taco. Right?
Well,
the first revision of the hardware, if you wanted to change games, you had to remove the battery.
Oh no.
Yes, that is correct. It is a disaster to change the game on this thing.
They made a second version of it that you did not have to.
Okay. Also, everybody, don't worry about Dobby. We specifically asked him to restart the emulator because Dobby was like, I'm not getting audio anymore. And I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah. The emulator for this is still...
It's finicky.
Yeah, it's experimental, basically.
Like the N-Gage.
Right. And that sometimes it crashes and stuff. Fortunately, we gave them a game that tracks their progress and saves everything as they go. So if it does crash, and we've told them there's quite a possibility it will, that they can just like literally load back in and be fine. So here's the thing. People are talking about, I don't know, people would be sufficiently impressed by a second game. Like when this came out, right, outside of the weirdness of the phone, like this was decent gaming, right, for 2003.
Well,
right?
We are doing the countdown, so I would say, chat, I need you to spam emotes. What would be appropriate emotes for chat to spam?
TNT boxes?
Yeah, TNT. Minecraft
Tacos?
Creepers. I think that's an emote, right?
Crash.
Sure.
Like Crash Bandicoot.
Okay. He's sleeping. Oh no. What nightmare do we have here?
It's pretty rough.
Right, so it's basically set up in worlds of different matches, right?
Okay.
And so, you know, here's the thing, right? You can be anything. We told them there are 2 teams here. There's Crash, and then there's the evil guys. Like,
The evil guys are,
yeah,
I believe it's Cortex.
Yeah.
It's N-Gage Cortex. That's what the N stands for. Then you have Nitrous Oxide. You might remember him from the first Crash racing game. And I think there's one other villain.
maybe, but we're pretty sure they're all the same. But I wanted to give everybody the same experience, so they're all playing as Team Crash. And in that, it's Crash, Coco, and Crunch, and they can play any one of those 3. Personally, they have different stats. I don't know that they're really any different in the long run.
Okay.
You know,
They probably aren't.
it's probably all the same, so it doesn't really matter. So, you know, we're giving this, but you can see kind of the problem, right, of playing a racing game on the N-Gage.
It's so skinny.
It's so skinny, so it's really hard to see. And so you either have to, like, memorize what's going on, right, or be kind of lucky. Now, this first level's not really all that bad, but it will get a lot worse.
It does get a lot worse. It is pretty rough later on in the game. I think this is one of the games that I did beat in full when I ended up doing an N-Gage stream. It was okay. It was one of the better games. It doesn't mean it's good. It just means it's one of the better ones.
I would say it's not
that.
very good, but it's fun, right?
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy it, like all my testing and everything. It gets hard real fast, and a lot of that is honestly just because you have tiny skinny screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if this were on the GBA, it would probably honestly be a lot better because you'd have a little bit more space to work with.
Correct.
Yeah, honestly, if this were on anything else, I think it would probably be a little bit easier to play. Just like, but with that said, for a phone game, this seems pretty, pretty reliable, honestly. It's working okay. The frame rate is not that bad.
So
yeah.
Here's the thing: we don't know what the frame rate's really kind of supposed to be. That's the best way I can lay it out. Right? Is that the game is right? They're playing at 32 frames per second, right? Because that's what the emulator sets up when you kind of set it up uncapped. And so we made sure they're all the same, right? Like all 3 are the same. That's important, right? And if you turn the game is frame locked. So if you turn it down to like 20 FPS, it actually becomes playable.
Huh. I don't think I knew that when I played this.
Oh, no. Okay. I mean, that's probably actually a reasonable way to do it. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're turning so fast while playing
so
this.
Fast.
This is...
It's
like,
so fast.
How is...
You can turn... It's both you turn on a dime and you don't at all.
Yeah, that's
right?
what it seems like. And this was the default settings for the game, right?
This is the default settings.
Yeah, these are default.
And I assume the players are not allowed to change that.
We told them not to change it, right? So the way it's set up, I checked what it said for each of them, and whoever had the lowest one, we were going to tell people to change the FPS until we got there, right? Just so we make sure everybody's consistent, so everybody has the same bad time.
Oh, perfect.
Now, here's the thing. There is progress is by save game completion.
Okay.
Right. So the way this is set up is that there are trophies for winning the race. You can come back in and do the race again for like a time trial and get trophies. Mm-hmm. And then after you beat like a world, you can come back and there's other trophies.
There's also, I think, keys are a thing.
Yep.
That might be tied to race
key. Yeah, so the time trial gives you like keys. I forget what they're actually called, but it's like that, right? So the way we're gonna track this is at the end of the hour, that wherever they are is what's going on. Now, for tracking purposes, so we kind of have a feel like who's in first, second, third, whatever as we start. They are tracking by number of stages completed, number of bosses, like number of each one of those completed, and whoever's the highest is going to be in first. And that's going to be a pretty good representative. It's not going to be perfect, but that's going to be pretty representative of like who's in first, second, third, and fourth.
Yeah. Now,
So you should be able to have that on screen, I believe. I don't know quite how they're tracking it right now.
Okay.
And then if for some odd reason we get to people that have the same amount of completion, right at the end, whoever got there first would win.
Gotcha.
So like right now, Tao and Yuge are both in stage 2. Tao got there first.
Makes sense.
Right? Or Tao got the trophy first,
Yes.
right? So Tao would be in first place, and Yuge would be in second. Dabi would be in third, and Jack-Kazan would be in fourth.
Yeah, honestly, this is pretty fascinating to watch so far. And I do want to thank the referees who are helping to track this. We've got Taco Linkura, Side Talk and Jerry Ayers, Blasina's Tag Team Racer, and Dragus N, with Hazel Shade 12 wishes they were born in Nokia N-Gage, and Clades still chooses to believe that the N-Gage is an urban legend. All 6 of them are helping out quite a bit, and I very much appreciate that. Thank you so much. I will be getting the tracker up on the screen in just a second so that y'all can see a little bit of what's going on here. But with that said, you know, we have enough vomiting already, I think. You know, this is going great.
It moves really fast, and because it's claustrophobic, like, I told Tina that she should come watch this because this is amazing. At the same token, she definitely should not play it because, like, if you get vertigo or motion sickness or something, this game will probably give it to you.
Oh yeah, this will destroy your soul.
A lot of N-Gage games.
So other fun things, right? What place do you think you need to be to get credit for a race?
I mean, most racers you have to be in, what is it, second, third? Yeah, usually around third.
You have to be in first.
Oh, perfect.
If you do not get first, it does not give you credit.
Yeah, remember, this is a team racing game, and there's no I in team. But there is a me, technically. That is in there.
Cool.
So, we're going to have some of these that people may be on for a little while, right? Because they're literally just not, you know, getting it done in time. And here's the other thing, right? The computer cheats.
Oh, absolutely. It's a racing game.
Like the computer, it's not just like a little bit cheat. So basically, if you want to get first, right, you have to get in there early, or you have to like stay up in like that first area.
Okay.
Or they just like, they're gone.
Understandable. So right now, I have put the spreadsheet up that has information about the player as well as the trophy races that they've completed. Although it looks like we've also got Crystal Arenas, Relic races, CNK challenges. There's a lot here.
There's a lot. Mostly what I think is going to happen, I can't say that it won't, right? But generally speaking, honestly, they're probably going to do like the trophy races and boss races, right? Because that's like what you have to do. And I think that's probably easier.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I'll be honest, we gave them the manual. They have the full manual, but I didn't directly tell them like what goes to like exactly like progression. You know, I just told them it's progression at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I think, you know, a lot of folks are going to do that because that's easier. Other things to know about the game, it's just like Mario Kart. You know, in Mario Kart, you get coins, you go faster. Here, if you get the Wumpa Fruit, you go faster. The difference is every time you get hit, right, with like something, they completely take away your Wumpa Fruit.
Not my Wumpa Fruit?
Yeah, you're not allowed to have any Wumpa Fruit. There's a recall on them.
No! I want Wumpa Fruit, okay? I brought my cart. I'm racing. I want the fruit.
Now Yuge is in first because they just won a second race by 1/10 of a second.
Okay.
Wow, that's impressive. You know, my least favorite thing though playing these kart racing games is when you're doing really good and then the computer hits you with like 5 different things. You know, we refer to it as usually getting Mario Karted, but I guess in this case it's Nitro Karted.
Yeah. It's been kind of amazing. Like, I feel like I would lose this very quickly. Yeah, you saw how I did with Scunny Kart compared to any other kart racer. I just cannot deal with something this fast.
It doesn't play quite as fast as Scunny Kart does, right? But it does. I mean, it does play fast now, right? And once again, if this had more view on the side, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be playable. Still wouldn't be good, but it'd be playable.
It'd be a lot more playable. So I guess 1 point to Scunny Kart for that.
Have you played Scunny Kart, Juker?
I have played every single Scunny game, and I hate them all.
Oh, yeah. Back to the Woods is still my favorite bad Scunny Kart, or Scunny game.
I don't know. I like saving our pizza.
I know you do, but it's so much slower.
Why is Scunny going out of his way to get all that pizza? He could just go make more.
It's true.
Look, does it matter?
Yeah.
You're right.
The entire plot hinges on pizza. So yes, it matters a great deal. I'm very invested in Scunny. Yeah, by the way, I'm taking a look at the controls here for the game. In the manual. Yeah, I see accelerate is key 5, brake is key 6, use power-up / launch weapon is key 4. I have no idea where any of these are.
I think those are the actual numbers on the phone.
Yeah, they're phone keys.
No.
Right? So the N-Gage is a phone. In the middle, all of this is like a phone. Here, let me find you a picture of the N-Gage. Because clearly you don't know, like...
Oh, I can give you a fun N-Gage factoid after you see that. That one of the developers of the N-Gage admitted.
I will even... For you, bro, I will even give you the version that we are technically playing today, right? The N-Gage QD, which is like the second, iteration of the N-Gage.
Okay. Yeah, I can put that up on the stream in a second. Sure. I want to give a thank you, by the way, to Virlex, Neitzel, Mazian, and Virlex gifting a gift sub. Thank you for all those subs. I very much appreciate that, everybody.
So basically, for a lot of these games, right, if we're talking about like B and A, right, are generally 5 is usually like A, if we're looking at this like a Nintendo controller, and 7 is B.
Okay.
Right? So it makes sense here that like 5 is go, 6 is break, because that's like right next to it, and use item is right next to it. So a lot of it seems really weird in context right now. But I promise you, like, it makes more sense
if you're holding it, yeah.
Okay. File not found. No, I saved it. I saved file. Where file? File found. Oh, great. It's saved to a different folder. Thank you so much, Windows. You're very intelligent. Or maybe I'm the intelligent one. I don't know. It's hard to say. Well, here we go, everybody. This is your N-Gage. Look at all of its beauty right here. What the crap. Yeah, and if you want to know where the numbers are, if we go ahead and trim down a little bit, take a look.
Blow it up.
Blow it up.
Those numbers. Oh, that's so cool.
Look at that. Like, we've got... Okay. So I'm seeing 5 is accelerate, 6 to the right of 5 is brake, 4 to the left of 5 is use the power-up / launch weapon, 2 is hop or power slide. Okay. Interesting, and then there are pause buttons. So that's not too shabby, I suppose, but still, this thing is ugly.
It is,
right,
but it could be worse.
It could be a lot worse. You could have been gaming on this on a regular phone.
Yes, that's true.
I don't think I could have, because it didn't come out on a regular phone, did it?
No, but
I couldn't.
The
have
N-Gage
been,
runs like Symbian, right? So yes, somebody could have absolutely hacked this onto like.
This would have been awful on like a Java phone or something, right? That would have been.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh, that would have been a nightmare. Never mind, Corn Dan. I'll take the N-Gage.
So
Like-
now that you've seen the N-Gage though, would you like to know something interesting one of the developers admitted to when they
Yes,
made
I
the
would.
original design?
Yeah.
So the original design, if you look at it, it might invoke a similar image that probably everyone here is unfortunately familiar with on the internet. The original N-Gage design was submitted as a joke and apparently got approved, and like one of the developers on Twitter at some point admitted that they were like, yeah, I submitted this as a joke, and then they liked it, so we just kind of went with it. But the original N-Gage design was meant to be goatsy, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it even has the ring.
Yep,
No.
you can see it.
No.
Yep.
Okay, let me go ahead and share this with everybody.
That's real.
Yeah, everybody,
It
do
is
not
real.
Google this. Do not Google what it is. If you don't know what it is, maintain your
innocence.
sanity. But if you do know what goatsy is, then yeah, you'll recognize this. Please do not look it up if you don't know what it is. This is mostly for my family. Okay? Family, if you're watching, do not look it up, please.
It's just really funny that the developer was like, I'll submit this as a joke. Then someone at N-Gage was like, or I guess Nokia was like, oh wow, this is a great design, let's use it. He's just like sweating bullets, like, no, they're gonna use this. They can't.
That is amazing. Well, I do want to update people on the race because it looks like Yuge is making a lot of progress. Currently in the lead from what I can see, 4 trophy races done. Right now, Dobby appears to be in second with 3 done, and the others have 2. A lot of good racing going on. Good job, Carters.
I would point out here, right? So Tao is having trouble. I told him to close the emulator and come back because it saves progress, right? But I do want to point out that Tao missed that third, winning that third race by 0.05 of a second.
No.
Oh no.
Actually, that's half a second. That's actually quite significant.
0.05 of a second. 0.05 seconds.
Okay, why did I hear 500? Never mind. Whatever. 500ths is pretty small. Yeah. That's not half a second, by the way, everybody. I'll admit my mistakes. Because I'm a full-grown adult watching... watching Crash Nitro Kart on the N-Gage. And then also showing this picture of a freaking phone for everybody. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a phone.
Well,
But the best part
Yeah.
about that phone is everything is on the top. You have to hold it by the side so it looks like you're holding a taco to your ear,
Yeah.
right? If you
I
wanted to
kind of
talk
wish
to
I owned
somebody.
one.
I bet you could find one now.
Probably dirt cheap. Like it just seems like a cool thing to own and not pay a cell phone bill for, but just be like, yeah, I own this. Doesn't really work, but I mean, look at it, it's cool.
I have a lot of
let's-
stuff that I don't like using. Yeah.
Let's
Let's
see
see.
how much one of these goes for on eBay.
Yeah, I'm looking on eBay as well. We apparently are thinking of the same thing, Corndan. Okay.
I mean, you could get an N-Gage QD, which is the one you would want, right? For like $73.
Hey,
yeah, you can get the quote-unquote classic, which is the one that I showed, with Tony Hawk for $300. That's a little too much.
that's
Yeah.
way too much. I think I played Tony Hawk. I remember it being fine, if it's one of the ones I think it was.
But no, the version of the N-Gage that I believe we are emulating here is, yeah, 50 to 70
It's the
bucks or
QD. Yeah.
about. It's not too shabby.
It's acceptable. I mean, I wouldn't pay more than triple digits. I'd probably be mad if I did.
Oh, I wouldn't. No, like if somebody gave it to me, I'd probably be angry. But I'd take it, you know, still be angry. Just like people gave me We're Back, a dinosaur story for Super Nintendo. Yeah, I took it. The copies are somewhere in my house. I don't know where and I don't care, but they're here. I'm never going to throw a present like that away until Justin convinces me to. Yeah, so people know this is the first time that we've had the N-Gage on Kusogrand8. We've never done this before, and it's an absolute pleasure or something. I actually think that most of the stuff in this game is done fairly well, like as well as it could be for a phone game.
Oh yeah.
So I'll tell you what, like, honestly, it's probably taken up until now, right? The emulator got redone recently, right? So it's taken up until now to kind of come up with something that does it well enough, right? And it also turns out that, honestly, like, I've been going through the games. I know I've shared the collection with Juker, right, to also take a look. And you know what? I like most of the games are reasonable-ish.
Yeah. There's a good chunk that I really enjoyed when I was messing around. The Metal Gear Solid game on the N-Gage is actually probably one of the best ones.
I mean,
Really?
right?
Okay.
Like there are some games, like there's a game on there called Glitterati that I played because I'm like, this is gonna be stupid, right? And it's just like a top-down racing game, and it's actually fairly reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So I would say, I would say, like, as a handheld thing, right? Like, they're reasonable.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah,
You know, so like looking at the N-Gage stuff, like a lot of it is just fine, right? Which is problematic-ish.
I mean, I think
I mean, problematic for us anyway.
yeah. So it looks like Dobby is doing crystal collecting, which is one of the other things that you can do in this
It's one
game.
of the other modes.
That
Depending on
is
how
a
much time you
mode
have
that
left,
they
you get
can
trophies.
They can get points for. In fact, let me go ahead and extend. Crystal Arenas is one of the other categories that we have here that people can score points for. Well, not necessarily score points, but it's one of the things that will help us see.
It's one of the things that counts for progress.
Yeah. And because of that, if there's a straight up tie, completing the Crystal Arena or the trophy race before other players will be
Exactly.
the
Whoever made
tiebreaker.
progress last, whatever it is. I'll be right back.
Oh geez, that is a face only a mother could love. When you see Crash smiling, there's like some pixels missing on that smile. It makes him look like he's missing teeth.
You know, you don't have to have perfect teeth for somebody to love you. It's fine.
True.
You
it's
know,
true.
get a few pulled.
Of course, of course.
Look silly. It's fine. But with that said, I never really was a Crash fan, but I also didn't have a PlayStation, you know? I played a little bit of PlayStation 2, but the first one that I actually had was PS3, so I never really got the Crash experience.
Look, the original Crash trilogy is fantastic.
It is. I don't really care for the first game, but you know, it's good, like, let's test the waters game.
However, I highly recommend, right?
Yeah.
That you, there's a documentary that got done with the guys from Naughty Dog, right? About like how they made Crash, right?
Okay.
Which I highly like recommend you look into, right? And the reason for that is, like, to get the original Crash to run basically as fast and everything as it does, right? They basically had to rewrite the PlayStation on the fly.
What?
They cut down, like, Crash takes up so much memory and everything, right? That they cut like like functions down and all of that, and like rewrite all of that, and just like straight up like do all of that, right?
Okay.
To get Crash to run consistently and all of that. Right. So it's worth like watching this sort of documentary like on how they did it, right? Because it is absolutely like amazing. Like even if you don't like the game, it is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's
There's some pretty
good to
fascinating
know.
history bits.
Yeah, I mean, looking back at NES and Super Nintendo, the amount of things people had to do in order to make the games work and function right, like, honestly, was impressive. I mean, I guess I would have assumed that some games did that for the PlayStation and N64 era, but I haven't really heard too much about those. Yeah.
I guess that's the other thing is how much do we actually know about development from some of these games? They're not all documented like that.
Yeah, it's... I think that it's really important to document those things, though. By the way, we do know that Dobby's stream went down. We will hopefully have it back up in a little bit. What can you say? You know, new game, new emulator. You're probably going to have a couple new issues that you didn't see coming.
The game saves all the progress. Dobby's not lost anything.
Yeah.
And
Dobby's
the game's
here, everybody.
You know, it's part of the experience.
Oh, yeah, Crash. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and wait for Dobby to come back, and meanwhile, everybody else speeding around. We do have a little flexibility for if people run into unexpected tech issues that we can give a little bonus time if that's something that makes sense and is warranted. So we'll go ahead and see what happens. Meanwhile, Jackzam is doing one of the Crystal Arenas as well. That's another thing that you can do in order to score extra points. Considering that Jackzam has completed 4 of the trophy races, yeah, Yuge is the only one who's completed more than that. Yuge is doing very well. But I'm not too surprised. Yuge has always been a strong player here in Kusogrand8. It's honestly, you know, there are a few names that pop up over and over again. Yuge and Jackzam have both made it to the brackets before. I'm not too surprised to see that they're doing about the same.
Now, I've seen a lot of Kuso on my part, and I can definitely say I see a lot of familiar player names after watching a lot of this over the years, so yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, I have to ask, I know that recently you did a playthrough of some games that various GMs gave to you, and I know that there was a pile of nightmares in there as well.
There was. I think that started because I am friends with one of them, and they casually suggested it. I think while we were playing Dead by Daylight was how that happened. That I was just like, sure? What's the worst that could happen, right?
Yeah, the worst is there are a lot of... There's the worst. I do know that you have the VOD up on YouTube. I watched a little bit. I'm going to have to watch a little bit more. I'm wondering, like, what was the most outstanding game that you got in that group?
Oh, that's a tough one. I gotta think about that. I might have to get back to you on that.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Because there was a lot of stuff I played. I did enjoy painting the wall.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Fred. I've beaten that game. I did speedruns of it back in the day. Yeah, let me tell you, the bowling part is pretty much the worst.
Sugar for me and thank you. You're welcome.
Welcome to the stream.
So it looks like we are back to go with Dobby Tristan chimed in that this is a problem that we're trying to fix with OBS, but this is not on us right now. So everything is good to go.
Yeah, blame the people who made a really awesome piece of software, honestly. I used to use, what was it, XSplit?
XSplit, yeah.
Yeah. I used that for years.
It was a mess.
Oh, this is so much better. OBS is so much
easily
better. Yeah.
XSplit is really good if you want to get into streaming and you don't want to learn anything, but OBS is so much better. It's also, OBS is free, so.
It is free. Yeah. Instead of paying like what, $100 for like the lifetime license or something on XSplit.
Yeah, I mean, I did pay that back in the day, but it got to the point where OBS just was easier to use. I gotta be honest. Like, yeah, paying for XSplit was great for quite a few years. I gotta be, yeah. But
I had a joint account. We shared it with a few different people, so I didn't really pay much.
oh, password sharing.
Yeah, it's like using the family plan on your Nintendo Switch.
No, I think that's I think that honestly, that's the way to do it. It's fair.
Also, I think I have an answer for most outstanding game. I think it was Egg. Egg was really fun.
Egg
is good.
Egg is a classic. The PS1 city builder bowling
really cool.
competitive Egg game. Like it's got so many weird mechanics to it that make it special. It's an amazing game.
Alien 2 was also an experience. Just trying to figure out the controls.
Yeah.
Took me a while to figure out the jump.
Did you do the MSX version?
Yep, that's what we had to play.
Cool. Yeah, I've beaten that. I've done well. I do speedruns of the NES version, but yeah, the MSX. Oh my gosh, especially to get to the final boss is so stupid. I don't know if you made it that far, but
I did not. But we might have to do that at some point.
Yeah, it's actually the final level will make you very angry, and I don't want to spoil it for you. Okay, you're gonna enjoy it.
I'll definitely have to. I know recently I was like, Corndan, thanks for helping with another thing that I recently did. So
The Zeebo!
The Zeebo, yeah!
The Zeebo?
We played the Zeebo. Yeah, there's a Zeebo emulator now.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, there's actually, at the moment, one good game you could play on there that's really worth your time. And I'm going to recommend it to everyone. It's well, it's not Crash Bandicoot, it's Double Dragon.
Double Dragon is good on the Zeebo?
Yeah, it's very anime, and you can play as every single character in that game. Kind of like if you played Castle Crashers.
Yeah, I did.
Have you ever
Okay.
thought to yourself, hey, I like Double Dragon for the NES, but I wish Jimmy and Bimmy were
Anime.
you know, anime?
Every day I think about that.
Yeah.
That's how I wake up.
Then this is the game for you.
Oh, perfect.
The Zeebo emulator, though, is only currently 3 games working, so very early stages. But hey, Double Dragon's one of the ones that works, and it's incredible.
Double Dragons, Crash, Nitro Kart,
Yeah.
and a collection of minigames that all kind of suck.
They were pretty bad, but I did kind of like Pirate Match 3.
Pirate Match 3.
It
Do you
was
match
Bejeweled.
the pirates together? Do they get together? Like, do you form a
It's like pirate
polycule with
symbols.
pirates? Oh, pirate symbols. Okay.
But I kept
It's,
getting excited to know what was the next item.
It's Bejeweled, but pirates.
I just want
So I
a
was like,
pirate
what-
polycule. Come on.
Yeah. I was like, oh, what's next when you match the pirates? Like, they can't add anything else. And it's like, okay, but what if cannonballs? And I'm like, oh.
Whoa, cannonballs. Oh my gosh.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they can't go up from here. Okay, but what about cool parrot? And I'm like, oh.
Parrot! Ow! See, you're talking
just
my
got to
language now. Yeah.
But it has that whole minigame simulator has very much the energy. You know, you've played Wind Waker, right? The guy who does the cannon battleship game.
Yes, Boosh Kaboo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sploosh. That's basically the energy of like the whole game.
Is that
It
actually
is.
the
It
sound
really is.
effect from Wind Waker? Because I hear
Yeah,
people
those are
use it all the
effects.
time, but
Yes.
the kaboom.
Yes, sploosh.
Yes.
Kaboom.
Okay.
Kaboom.
Somehow I didn't realize that was from Wind Waker despite having played it. Wow.
My favorite is when you win and then he gets a little like cardboard cutout and he goes, yeah.
You cut out at the end, and that probably made it even better. Well, I'm taking a look, and I think that there's an error. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, that's a question mark next to Jackzum. I thought it said 67, and I'm like, pretty sure nobody has beaten 67 races. Okay, we've got 3 people with 5 races completed. Yuge with 8 completed. Yuge is kicking butt here. Mind you, this is a group where nobody is getting eliminated this round. Everybody will be moving on. They are 17-point players, so whoever comes in last will need to come in first in their last match to have a chance to make it into the bracket. But the others should probably feel pretty comfortable with how they're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, that's part of the reason I didn't feel bad giving this out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, like, okay, so what happens if like someone just does real bad on it because like the N-Gage is bad? Well, they're not out, right? You're not going to be out because of like some weird like field of view or something like that.
Now listen, the important thing here, what are we doing with these contestants? That's right, we're engaging them.
Okay.
True. And we are engaging the audience.
I think I don't have anything better to add to that. I don't have anything worse to add to it. Like, it would just be saying either engage or disengage.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, maybe everyone's getting free tacos on Brosentia after this.
Hey, everybody, if you like tacos, I guess this is the stream for it. I guess I'm giving everybody a free taco.
Tacos for lunch.
Oh my gosh,
I
haven't had lunch. I don't know if I'm getting lunch.
Are you a soft or hard shell kind of person?
Soft shell, baby.
It depends. Generally, I would say soft shell.
I'm gonna say soft because the second you eat a hard shell, it just falls apart, and then I'm just like, I'd rather have
but
tortilla
the important
chips.
thing is what you do is you put the soft shell underneath the hard, right?
And then do that. That is a strat.
And then when you're done eating the hard shell taco, you have enough crap on the soft shell one to have another taco.
You're correct.
Yeah, I just don't like. I've always
say
been
it
more
really
of a
depends
fan.
on where you're getting them.
I've always been more of a fan of the flour tortillas over corn.
Agreed.
I don't really like. I've grown to like corn tortillas quite a bit more, just because I'm an adult who can actually appreciate flavors. But I still give me flour tortillas any day, literally any day.
So I will say it depends, right? Because so like when I lived in Chicago, we lived like very close to one of the Hispanic neighborhoods in Chicago, right?
Okay.
And so getting like authentic, like Mexican tacos with the, you know, corn tortillas and everything, like the way it's laid out, there's almost nothing better, right? But if you're not getting it from like, you know, the grandma cart, right, then flour tortillas are amazing.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
But if you like tamales and you're not getting tamales from the grandma cart, you're not getting real tamales. I don't care. But like out here now, I live in New Hampshire, right? Am I gonna find like a, like a grandma taco cart?
There better be.
Absolutely not. There's
What?
not. New
Okay,
Hampshire's like
somebody move to
94%
New
white.
Hampshire and sell some tacos.
Now, there is a local taco place near me, right?
Yeah.
That does rolled tacos, and they're amazing.
Rolled
Are they
tacos.
as good? Yeah, so it's a soft shell. Basically, it's half a burrito, like, size tortilla, right? You know,
That
they
sounds
cut it in
amazing.
half, you get 2 tacos, and then you roll them up kind of like burritos. So they're like tiny, like little burrito. Like they're
So
they're
like a
little bit
taquito?
bigger. Yeah, kinda. Except they're not like fried or anything. They're a little bit bigger than like if you go to McDonald's, you can get the breakfast burritos at McDonald's. They're a bit bigger than that. But that's like, you know, they're closer to like that size versus like anything bigger.
Okay.
Right, but they're stuffed with like everything. You know, the produce is local and all of that. Like the, you know, they're good about where they get the meat and everything. So I really like this place, and it's like super local. There's only like 3 of them, like total, right? So it's not even, it's not really a chain.
That's awesome. I love small restaurants. I love supporting small businesses, and
agreed.
like honestly, I just think like the big chains. Sure, if I want to feel like trash, Taco Bell, I'll go for it. Taco Time now. But honestly, anything that's not a chain is almost always better. Like almost always.
Correct. That's true.
I will tell a story that the local Taco Bell to me, which is still like 3 towns over, right? That occasionally you still go because sometimes you just want trash, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That for a while they were decent, like middle of the range Taco Bell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they got real bad for a while. They were super stingy on everything and whatever, right? And then they did a bunch of hiring, and they got a bunch of like high school kids who like just don't care.
Oh no!
Right, like who recognize like they're working at Taco Bell. So I went in to get something because I needed something quick on my way home the other day. So I went to go get a 5-layer burrito, which I still like at Taco Bell. I'm not gonna call it like
it's a good thing. Yeah.
But
beefy 5-layer burrito tastes good. Yeah.
Yeah, the beefy 5-layer burrito is great. They didn't charge me for my drink. They're just like, here you go, have the cup. And then they like double filled the burrito.
Ooh.
And it was awesome.
They know what you've been saying about them. They actually, it turns out they watch Kusogrand8. They're like, I know what he's saying about the tacos.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna give you the best taco ever, or the best burrito ever. Yeah, honestly, that's part of the reason I don't like to get big chains. I just know that they're exploiting the workers. I don't know.
Oh,
I'd rather support a smaller local business and you know, fight the man in as many small ways as possible. If it's a big chain that I know is treating people well, then sure, maybe I'll go ahead and deal with it. You know. Yeah. But Taco Bell isn't one of those.
I actually recently found a local place I haven't been to yet that's a pizza place that gives a really good deal. They do 2 for 1, and it's like no matter what size pizza you get, it's like you get like a small pizza with 3 toppings, and then you get another one. And I'm like, oh, that's a really good deal.
It depends on how good the pizza is too, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's better than like anything else here in LA. I say that as a New Yorker, so you know.
I was gonna say, do they just do bad pizza in LA? I mean, I get it if you're just like, it's not New York pizza. Like, I totally get that, right?
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's not.
All right. I mean, because I grew up right in St. Louis, and St. Louis just has terrible pizza. I kind of like it. Like, they like cracker crust, tavern cut, right? Kind of like it, amazing. But it's not like the cheese on it is not what I would call like normal cheese. Like, it's Provel. It's like a provolone American sort of like processed cheese, but it's like really good on pizza, right?
Okay.
But then I moved to Chicago, which like is like the opposite, right? It's bread casserole, and I kind of like really love it, right? You know, but so I get that hate. Like, do I want New York style pizza? Look, it's pizza. I'll eat it, right? Is it
that's how I am.
As good as like Chicago style pizza? No. But that's okay. Like even generally speaking, decent pizza is good pizza, right? Even if it's not exactly the style you want.
For sure. I mean, like most of the pizza around here is usually like Pizza Hut or Domino's. So
you get it. Get the local stuff, whatever it is. It's probably going to be better than Pizza Hut or Domino's. Now, sometimes, right, you probably just want Pizza Hut or Domino's. right? And I'm not gonna like blame anybody for that.
Well, Chad actually brought up that local businesses are completely capable of shafting employees just as much as
100%.
bigger chains.
Yep.
Pay attention to the way that people are treated. If management yells at anybody, then if they treat anybody poorly in front of you, they're treating them worse when they're not in front of you. 100%. So, it
Easily.
is worth paying attention to that. But yeah, anyways, we've got a game here, which is Crash Nitro Kart for the N-Gage, and right now, I think Yuge has a pretty commanding lead, though Tao may have made up some time, has completed 7 trophy races and 1 crystal arena. But remember, what really matters at the end is who has the highest completion percentage. If there's a tie, then whoever got that completion percentage first, which is why we are keeping track of when they clear the various modes, the various races, the various arenas, the various challenges, whatever. There's a lot of stuff going on here.
There's also a lot of mimes.
Apparently, Crash Nitro Kart treats its employees poorly per Mazian.
I mean,
I can believe that.
very well could be true.
They keep exploding. Putting people in ice cubes? That's not ethical. It's cold. It's really cold. Boing. At least, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that, overall, this may be one of the better games for the N-Gage. And honestly, the main problem with this is not the game itself, it's the system, and
I'll have you know, there's
Yes.
a lot that we can bring to bear from the N-Gage later. Did you
There is.
know that they made first-person shooters?
They did.
they made first-person
On,
shooters for calculators. Of course they made one for
Yeah.
the N-Gage, yeah.
They made more than one. Did you know the Elder Scrolls is on N-Gage?
Which one?
I think it's.
I don't know.
No,
Hold
it's
up,
not
I'll pull it
Oblivion.
up.
That's in the PSP.
I
I
will
don't
pull it up
remember.
because I have the N-Gage emulator we handed out that just has Crash set up, right? And then I
The
have one
Elder
that has
Scrolls
everything.
Travels. Shadow Key.
Yeah, I think it's unique to the N-Gage.
What? Okay,
think it is, yeah.
I want to play this. Never mind, I'm converted. I'm now an N-Gage fanboy. I want to play Shadow Key. I want to suffer. Oh, it got generally mixed reviews from critics, probably because it was on the N-Gage.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. What do critics know?
Sploosh. Speaking about what critics know and Wind Waker, yeah, we know what critics knows. They know how to be critical. My gosh, I keep hearing sound effects that sound like, what is it, Donkey Kong Country 2.
I hear them, yeah.
Specifically, the minecart, the minecart stage with the Skelly Boys?
I hear it.
Ha 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 ha. Yeah. I keep thinking of that. But yeah, I need to finally actually make it more than an hour into Morrowind. That
Wow.
There's a co-op mod for that you can always play at some point if you really want to play it with someone.
I mean, I
Okay,
will play
that-
it with you, except, I will not play the main quest at all. I hear you'd be being assaulted by guards.
maybe I shouldn't play with Corndan. I'd be
Probably
trying to
not.
play the game. Meanwhile, all the guards are just coming and trying to arrest me. They're like, "Hey, we heard your buddy killed 10 people
Yeah.
and also killed the main character that you need to talk to in order to complete the quest. So how about you come on to jail?" And I'm like, Corndan.
That sounds right.
And then as I sneak off while you're going to jail, right? I give you a little wink and nod to be like, see, this is what you get.
You were the fall guy.
Yeah, that sounds like a terrible idea. Maybe we should do it.
I recently tried a few months back I think it was Daggerfall Unity port, and I was like, I've never played Daggerfall. How is that? And have you ever played Daggerfall?
I never have, but I want to.
Would you like to take a guess how you attack? It's kind of baffling.
Is it bump contact? That would be amazing.
No, because that would be in a good game. Yeah.
How would that be a good game in a first-person game? How is that good?
It's so much better than what the actual answer is. So the way you swing your sword in Daggerfall is you hold the attack button and swing the mouse left and right.
Okay. That's not cool.
You're right.
That
sucks.
Is a nightmare. Are there alternate controls, or is that just you're stuck with it?
No, you're stuck with it.
In Daggerfall Unity, you can turn it off.
Yeah, that's in Daggerfall Unity. You can change it, thankfully. Not in the original game.
If you had the original, that's how you.
And one of my favorite things in that game, which reminds me of Daggerfall Unity, was I tried to steal something, and I was in a locked room, right? The room was completely locked. I'm the only one in the room. I look around, and I'm like, all right, nobody's in this room. Time to steal from this drawer. Surely nothing bad will happen. Immediately, the second that I steal from the cupboard or drawer, a guard teleports behind me, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, no.
That's how bad it is in that game. Like, you think it's bad in any other game. In this game, the second that you steal, they already know before you committed the crime. Like, what was it, Minority Report? Is that the one?
Yeah, they absolutely pull a Minority Report on you.
Oh yeah, I'm glad that the other games, like if you put a sheet of paper between you and their eyes, they have no idea what you're doing. They're clueless.
I mean, you could be doing anything behind that paper. You could be applying the N-Gage.
Yeah, I probably am. Why don't you take me to jail?
You could be playing Crash Nitro Kart, where now you're getting into stuff with a whole bunch of like sharp corners and boosts, and then you've got to try to turn, and everything is awful.
Speaking of sharp, though, if you look at Jackazam's number of trophy races has shot up significantly, up to 9, and that likely puts her in second place. Honestly, it's looking really good for Yuge and Jackazam at this point. Tao and Dobby have a little work to do to make up, but it's completely doable. Like, we still have 7 minutes left. I don't know, you can probably, based on this speed, you could beat like 20 races in that time.
Oh yeah,
right.
Totally.
In the refs chat, Clades found a video of someone pointing a hand cam, right, at an N-Gage doing this. And this is decidedly faster than like the game actually is on the N-Gage. But it's consistent. Everybody's having the same issues.
See, you said pointed a hand cam, but I thought you were going to say they were pointing a handgun at the
That's what I thought as well. I'm glad you said it and not me.
I mean, that is appropriate, probably.
Yeah, honestly, watching this, I do think that it's significantly faster. With the Crystal Arenas, for example, while playing those, I saw that the timer went down about 2 seconds every second, so almost an inverse Tim. It's
so my guess is that, right, so the emulator set up for 32, right? My guess is it actually runs at like 20.
Yeah, and that's probably...
That checks out.
Yeah. I would say that, considering that is this a newer emulator?
Yeah, it's
been in development for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's set up to run like all sorts of Symbian OS phones, right? So the N-Gage is not the only thing it plays.
Gotcha. And honestly, if it's set up for tons of different phones and it's still in development, then odds are they probably don't have settings that adapt to each individual game, like the N-Gage probably automatically would based off of certain things. Tweaking would probably be helpful, but I'm also glad that we didn't do that because this has been pretty comedic.
It has been pretty funny. It's kind of slapsticky.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel for Tao. Tao said this was making him a little bit sick. As long as he didn't turn too fast, he was fine, though, right? And we'll see how that plays out in the end. I mean, I kind of legit feel bad for that and understand where he's coming from, right?
I mean, I played Pig of the Peach 3 for a solid hour or two, and I
Peggy
almost...
the Peach 3 is one of the few games that has actually given me motion sickness.
I do not get motion sickness,
rough.
but that gave me motion sickness. It was amazing.
How about Mohawk?
Legitimately, there have been two things. Even Mohawk and Headphone Jack, I do not get motion sick.
Really?
So there have literally been two things in the world that have given me motion sickness. Peggy the Peach 3 and my mother-in-law's driving. I love my mother-in-law, but I don't let her drive anymore.
The odd thing is that I get motion sickness when I'm hungry. If I'm at an amusement park and I know that there's a ride that could give me motion sickness, I have to be like, okay, let's go ahead and eat, and then I'm going to go on the ride, and I will be fine. I don't think that's how most people work, but that's how my brain works. It's like, you fill that belly, boy. Boing. There's so many sound effects in this game. It's amazing.
There really are. Maybe this was a selling point for the N-Gage. You know, people love sound effects. Let's just put as many as we can in this phone.
Yeah. I mean, come on. You've got the Nokia ringtones. This has Crash Bandicoot sound effects. Better than literally anything Nokia made.
If it was an option for the N-Gage that any sound effect in the game could be used as like a ringtone or like texting sound, that actually might be a decent selling point.
Yeah, what if you could like take the sound files from a cart that you purchased? Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
Like, Metal Gear is already on the N-Gage, so like everyone usually makes their text sound the little, alert sound, right? I'm sure you've run into someone that does that. So, I mean, imagine if that was an official thing. Like, with the N-Gage, if you get this game, you could use this. We're telling you could do this. There you go. There's a reason to get the N-Gage.
That would have actually been legit.
I think it would have.
Instead, we got whatever this is. Which I mean, more companies are sort of doing that with the way that like profile things work on Steam. It's not really something that you can take outside of Steam, which is a bit of a downside, but at least there's some customizability based off of the games that you get. PlayStation has done that a little bit, but again, it's still limited to that specific console. Come on! If I buy Tomb Raider, let me put her on my phone. Let me put a 3D model of Lara Croft dancing on my phone if I buy Tomb Raider. Come on!
I think there's a Tomb Raider N-Gage that I played at one point as well.
No!
It's very rough.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
It was very rough. I remember playing it for a few minutes and going, I can't. This one is just, it's real bad.
So things on this that you might have recognized as games, right?
Yes.
There's a Sonic game on the N-Gage.
Correct.
It's a port of Sonic Advance, and it's worse than Sonic Advance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Monkey Ball.
Is it worse than Junkie Ball Munier?
It is worse than Junkie Ball Munier.
Wow, that's amazing.
Tony Hawk. Pro Skater. Not as good as the other ones, but actually not bad, right?
Wow.
Plays like Tony Hawk.
I was one of the ones who grew up with the GBA Tony Hawk's, so like I understand the downgrade Tony Hawk's. I think I can get behind it.
I would say it's better than the GBA like Tony Hawk. Like it's legitimately okay.
Yeah.
Crash that we're seeing. Sega Rally.
By the way,
so like rally racing, also kind of okay.
No, I need to interrupt you because chat's going to yell at me if I don't. We're letting time go 3 minutes longer for Dobby. So,
That seems fair.
yeah, just due to the tech issues, we are doing 3 extra minutes specifically for Dobby. We'll see if Dobby is able to make a little more progress during this. Dobby had some pretty significant tech issues. Oh no, Jackzam apparently was 1 crystal away when time was called. I don't know if that is going to count or not, but honestly, I think that the other players can probably go to the completion percentage, right? I'm not sure how they get there. Yeah, that's all right. You're telling them. There we go. 16% on Taos. We've got Jagzam at 24%. Jagzam definitely ahead of Tao in that case. We'll have to see what Yuge does, though. Yuge is just chilling right now and wondering how you actually go back. Did I mute myself on Discord? Really?
You did. I thought that was on purpose because I've never done this, so I have an excuse. Corn Dan, what's your excuse?
My excuse is I was telling people that they need to go.
That's all right. I was telling everybody, I was just sort of recapping what we're seeing on the screen. 24% for Jackazam. Tao with 16%, putting Jackazam a little bit ahead of Tao. 24% in an hour is pretty significant. Yeah, the main problem that Yuge had was finding the start button, which is fine. You don't really need it when you're playing the game, I guess. But
you need it to pause, and that's it.
I mean, if you want to restart a race, but Yuge has completed 13 of the trophy races, even without knowing how to use the start button.
Well, you don't really need it.
To restart, like other players did.
This full, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well,
You could just
Dobby,
reboot the
are you going to
emulator,
be able to
which is-
complete a race in the last 10 seconds here?
Dobby, I believe in you. Go.
Dobby,
Go.
come
You're the
on,
last
you're
lap.
right at the end.
I don't think so.
Go, go, go.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Dobby got passed. Even if Dobby finishes right now, that is not going to be first. That will not count as a completion. That is time, everybody. What a game. What an amazing time. So,
That was
Yuge,
incredible.
hey, it looks like we have very clear placements. Yuge with 29%. That is huge for an hour. Absolutely amazing. Jackzam at 24%, still really good. Tao at 16, Dobby at 14. Like, honestly, none of these scores are anything to scoff at. They did an amazing job today. All of them are moving forward in Kusogrand8, but Yuge is your victor today. Let me go ahead and welcome Yuge in to come and chat if they would like. Yeah, so Corndan, Juker, how do you feel that the players did today?
Better than I
They
did.
honestly did great. For never playing the N-Gage, because I'm pretty sure none of the players have. I don't think there's that many people in Kusogrand8 that have even touched an N-Gage or looked at one. So I'm gonna say they all did fantastic today for working with what they had to work with. This is something that's such unfamiliar territory. You know, a lot of the games here that I've watched over the years, I could say at least, I've played an NES, I've played the Super Nintendo, I've played a Genesis, I understand how this works. Or, here's this other game. I've played Sonic before, but I've never played the GBA Genesis version. It's bad.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome and congratulations. 29% completion is huge. Like, seriously, great job here.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think Yakasam said it in the race chat that it's simultaneously a disaster and pretty fun. This game. So
that's a good description of the N-Gage, honestly.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I could definitely see myself playing this game at break during school if I had an N-Gage.
For sure.
Enough fun to bring that at least.
Yeah, I honestly think that this is kind of worthwhile. Like, the worst thing about this is that it's on the N-Gage, really.
Oh, yeah.
But
I think one of our players is playing the game again, so hey, if someone likes it.
Yeah, Jackson, why are you playing? Oh, gotta get the crystals. That's fine. Crystals are good.
Understandable.
Yeah, you just straight up did the main races as far as I could tell, Yugi.
Yes.
Yeah, so you didn't go and check out any of the other modes. Why did you decide to focus on the races?
Well, I kind of decided that side things would probably be 1 or 2%, but if I went the straight way, they usually introduce a new world and have a couple of easy races and then hard race and then boss. So I thought I would gain more percentage if I went to the next world.
That's a fairly decent idea. Yeah, I like that. I also like that we had some meta strategy going on there. Cool.
Yeah, I was about to say that the worst thing about this game was probably the camera and the speed the camera whipped back and forth. But then I saw that Corndan mentioned that it was running 50% faster, so that explains that.
Yeah, and it wasn't something new, pulling this out, right? The emulator is like a Sibian in general emulator that does the N-Gage, right? The N-Gage runs on that. And so, when you run it, everything's capped at 32 frames per second for the game. And so, when you look okay, this plays fast. I don't know if it plays fast on the N-Gage, and you kind of look, it's hard to tell. Other people are playing it on emulator and everything. I have no idea. Right, so I just went with, let's make sure everybody's consistent. Whatever the slowest somebody is running, we'll make sure everything gets set for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell from the sound, the audio. The music sounds fine, so...
The music is great. The sound effects work really well. For 2007... This was 2007, right?
That seems right.
2006-ish?
For that on a phone? This is amazing. Really an accomplishment.
No. This came out in 2004.
What?
Yeah.
I was in high school. Okay. Yeah, I'm honestly very impressed by this. Seriously, great job, Crash Team, for making it work this well on a phone. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And honestly, yeah, the speed is a bit of a problem with the default settings that we had, but everybody got to struggle with that speed, and honestly, it was kind of comedic just seeing how quickly you'd explode and then start going again. So how was there a good way to compensate for that speed, Yuge? Did you have to develop different strategies to deal with it? What did you do?
I don't know about the speed. I think the main strategy is that there is no rubber banding in this game. So if you get far ahead, you cannot get hurt.
Oh,
then
really?
you just make sure that you stay in front.
There's no rubber banding for you. The game cheats.
No,
it does cheat.
Yes, it does cheat, but poorly. Like on the later levels, I saw that one was speeding up behind me and run into a wall. And then it tried to catch up again, run into another wall. So.
Oh no!
but as soon as you get back into the pack, the main opponents, then it's terrible because everything will just target you.
Well, cool. So what are you up to these days? Are you streaming right now? Do you have anything exciting going on, or mostly playing stuff offline?
I've mainly been focusing on Mystery Funhouse stuff. So I
that's
actually
right.
use a secondary Twitch account to stream to that. But I'm trying to get back to streaming some more PC Engine once that wraps up.
Ooh, I
There's
know
a
that
lot of
Flannel
good
Cat
PC
loves
Engine
PC Engine.
She loves it.
Yeah. Well, good. There are a lot of fantastic games on the PC Engine, I gotta be honest. I
Yes,
hope
it's
that
very
you...
underrated.
Yeah, especially over here in the States. We got a lot of games that have not the best translations in the world, but some of the voice acting is just absolutely unforgettable. I love it. Well, thank you so much. We'll go ahead and let you go. Juker and Corndan, thank you for being here and providing the colorful commentary that we had today. I had a blast. This was a lot of fun to have our first N-Gage game.
I'm happy to help in some way, especially to get the N-Gage on for Kusogrand8. That is a big deal to have a debut like that. So I'm happy I could help. Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
as always, thanks for hosting Kusogrand8. It's always a pleasure playing these weird and wacky games.
I'm
Of
really
course, I'm
glad that you keep signing up.
enjoyed it.
Whether it's a mistake or or a good thing, I'm glad that you're here. Thank you so much. I'll see all three of you later. Take care, friends.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Well, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and run a quick ad. We will be right back with 3 more matches coming up to you in just a couple minutes. Stay tuned.